Hi, this is Danny Ryan, and welcome to the ThreeWill podcast. Today we've got Brandon Holloway. Brandon is, let me make sure I get this right, you're a software quality assurance engineer. Did I get that right?
That's correct. A fancy way to say tester.
AKA Mr. Tester. All right, so that's awesome. So what is Mr. Software QA engineer? What's a typical day like for you?
Well, it really depends on the project work. Sometimes I juggle 2 or 3 projects just like everybody else. I may be testing something in SharePoint 2010. I may be testing something in 2013. I may be doing some mobile testing. So just really like everybody else, whatever's on the plate.
Whatever's up for the. So it sounds like so you hit multiple projects, and then you're probably, are you pulled in at the end of sprints, or you start up with everybody else as far as new sprints, or how's that work?
Most of the time I start up with everybody else. Maybe in sprint 0 I'm not as involved when things are just getting planned out. Most of my workload definitely comes towards the end of the sprints. So that's when everything gets hard and heavy with QA. The last few days of the sprints usually can be pretty hectic. But yeah.
And I had a good conversation with Bruce, and we were talking through the whole estimation process. And what I liked was one of the things that we do is for each of the backlog items, we have a success criteria. Am I saying that right? We have
acceptance criteria.
Acceptance criteria. Right. That's it. And so that's probably really key for you, because you're just that really helps you out with the testing, because you've got an agreement of what's acceptable.
Definitely. A lot of times in an agile environment, we don't have a ton of requirements to go off of. There's just not a lot of time to everything's turn around for the client and get them things to look at as much as we can. And so acceptance criteria is kind of the one thing I can use as kind of like my testing requirements. What qualifies this item as being accepted. So make sure I can test it as thoroughly as possible. Yeah,
that's all. With Scrum, it's there's more of an importance placed on working software versus documentation. Exactly. So that's awesome. So this is not the reason why I'm interviewing you, is just to find out about your job. This is going to be a fun one. This is a personal interview. All right. You ready? You're sitting down, I see, which is a very good thing. But maybe just give us a little bit about, you have any outside hobbies? Sort of what do you do when you're not testing software?
I try to spend as much time with my family as possible. I'm married, have a 2-year-old son, so that's always fun. Other than that, as you can see the shirt, big Auburn fan.
He was mistaken this morning. I think Tommy thought it was a Clemson shirt, but he was sorely wrong, and it's the Auburn shirt he's got on here.
That's okay. That's more acceptable than being mistaken for a Georgia or an Alabama fan, so I can deal with that.
I'll leave that alone.
But I'm a big college football fan, obviously big Auburn fan. I used to be really into golf, used to play a lot, not so much anymore. Still do like to play when I can, so
awesome.
A couple different hobbies.
And you live, what's unique about you as well is, where do you live?
I live in Phoenix City, Alabama, which is right across the river from Columbus, Georgia. Most people from here will know Columbus before they know Phoenix City, so I usually throw that in there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I ran a race down in Columbus, and we actually ran across the bridge over to Phoenix City for a little while and then came back over. So, yeah, right next door, across the river.
It's right there, pretty much one of the only 1 or 2 towns in Alabama that's on Eastern Time. That's how close it is to Georgia. Everybody just kind of adopted Eastern Time. So.
Gotcha. You have a favorite TV show or movie or anything you like to follow?
Right now, TV shows. My wife and I like to watch The Blacklist.
The Blacklist.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It's just a fun show. It's just about this guy that's on. He's played by James Spader, which is a great actor, and he's like FBI's most wanted guy or whatever. And he helps the FBI with different cases week by week. I mean, it's a fun show to watch, and also kind of when I get a chance, I like to watch The Walking Dead as well.
Nice.
Don't get to watch that as much because the wife doesn't really like that show, so I have to wait. Till
Not a big
sleep or
fan of
something.
zombies or death.
Not a big fan of that kind of stuff, right?
No, I have to joke with you. I know you're from Alabama, but are there any books that you like? Assuming you're reading.
Well, this is not going to sound good. I'm not
Oh
much of a
no!
reader.
Oh no! Come on, tell me something. You're reading up QA books, right? You're reading on the latest. No.
I actually do have a few QA books from when I try to get some different certifications and everything. And honestly, I don't spend a whole lot of time reading.
Gotcha. It's
Not
okay.
that I can't,
You're
because
from
I definitely
Alabama.
can.
I understand that. I'm not going to have the follow-up question of who your favorite author is. I'll leave that one off. So jumping
Hopefully
over.
nobody from Alabama listens to this. I might turn it off.
Oh, I'll leave that one alone. I'll just leave that in the corner of the room. The phone-wise, we all have different phones. It seems like here at ThreeWill. What phone what's your tool of choice as far as phones?
I actually have an iPhone 5S, and I used to have a Droid maybe a couple years ago, and then when I switched over to the iPhone, I've never looked back.
What made you switch over?
Oh well, I've heard many great things about the iPhone, and
Yeah.
it just seems to work all the time. With the Droid, I would have issues every now and then. It could have just been that particular phone, but just wanted to change the pace, and I just like the way it looks.
You're maturing. You get to a certain age where you just want something to work.
Yeah, I'm not picky. I just want it to do what I want it to do.
Awesome. Any favorite apps that you have for the iPhone?
Well, I have my fantasy football apps, of course.
All right.
That's the most important
So
thing.
do you do fantasy football? Do you do
I do. There's I'm in a couple different leagues just with some friends back home.
Is there money on the line?
There's not. It's,
okay.
Just for fun. Something to, something to be competitive about, I guess.
So I'm not going to see you on one of those FanDuel commercials bouncing around with the big $1 million check.
No, well, I mean,
that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice, but no, I'm not gonna be on one of those.
Awesome. Okay, well, just sort of to wrap this up, my self-serving question: why do you like working at ThreeWill?
Well, the main thing I would say, and it may sound like I'm copying things from other podcasts, but I'm really not when I say it's the people.
Yeah.
More here than anywhere else I've worked. It just seems that everybody is so willing to help each other, and it's just a great work environment.
Yeah. Well, we love having you here. I think it's really helped for us. We always, before you were here, we just didn't have the ability to, on our side, to do a lot of thorough testing, and you've really kicked our projects up another level. And it's been great to have you. We're now incorporating, whenever Bruce is doing his estimates, he's always incorporating testing as part of that. And I think that has really helped us deliver higher quality software. And we all care about that around here as well, as delivering something that's really of high quality. And you need somebody like yourself coming in and not making assumptions and coming at it like just someone who's going to be an end user of the software. So we appreciate all the hard work. You often do have to come into situations where you don't have a lot of, you're not following a lot of documentation, and you've got to be very diligent and very assertive about coming into a project and how do I add quality, how do I come in and really test what we've done. You do a great job at that, and we love having you here.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
You betcha. Thanks everybody for listening. Have a great day, and thanks for joining me for this. Hopefully that wasn't too much harassment.
No, that was.
I did get an Alabama joke in, so I'm happy.
That's a given.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, though.
All right, you betcha. Have a great day, and thanks for listening, everyone. Bye-bye.